Hi guys and girls, back with a new video, and today is the first video for the new year for the strongman scene. So last Saturday at Sheffield we had the British Strongest Man, and obviously there were a lot of fan favourites from the past, some newbies, and of course some established athletes that are doing amazing things right now in the sport. In terms of obviously the winner, we all know who that was, Mr. Adam Bishop, and congratulations to Adam. Obviously, I'm going to go over a few aspects of his performance now. So kicking off with Adam. Now, Adam, last year, he actually did make it to the finals of the World's Strongest Man, and along with Luke and Tom Stoltman brothers. So it was really good that obviously he's showing just how well he's developed as an athlete. And, you know, he's made some amazing gains in the last 6 months, I'd say. So kicking off, obviously, here you've got the axle deadlift. Now, this was one of 5 events that was hosted on the day. Now, with the axle lift, it actually was set at 330 kilos, and they had to obviously rep out for as much as they could. Now, Mark Felix, obviously nicknamed the King of Grip, he actually set the bar at 10 initially, but obviously Adam wanting to get as many points as possible and prove himself, obviously being alongside Tom here as well, he manages to get a nice 11 reps. There's obviously a little bit of a rest pause in between, but nonetheless, I mean, 11 reps at 330 kilos with an axle deadlift is no easy task. And, you know, credit to him for putting such a good performance. The guy really has got very good fitness alongside his actual strength, because obviously, you know, it's all about muscular endurance and recovery, and obviously he's got some very good fitness aerobically there, just as much as he has got it anaerobically. So it was a really good event. Tom did well also. He managed to get 9 reps, but obviously Adam pipped him there at 11 reps for the challenge. So well done, Adam. Did really well in the last event, which was the Conan's wheel. Now, if you're not familiar with it, it's a really brutal endurance event which requires you to have strength and muscular endurance, and obviously that mind over matter mindset. What the athletes have to do is they have to lift a frame of a quad bike which weighs 350 kilos, and they need to walk it as far as they can and hold out for as long as possible. Now, unfortunately, he didn't come first. He lost out to Ireland's Strongest Man, which is Par O'Dwyer. He actually set it at 792 degrees, which you'll see here. I've shown his video because obviously he was the winner of the event. But I mean, Bishop wasn't far off that target and obviously got 775 degrees. So really impressive from Bish, and obviously even more impressive from Par O'Dwyer. Now, the last time this event was shown, a previous athlete called Darren Sadler, he actually set a record at 835 degrees. Now, in training prior to the event held last Saturday, Luke Richardson, one of the newcomers, and also Adam, looked like they were, you know, going to beat that. Unfortunately, they didn't, but, you know, well done to Bishop, because 775 is not far off 835, so he did really well to get that. But I just want to congratulate Par O'Dwyer here, again, Ireland's Strongest Man, because he absolutely smashed this event, and it was really, really impressive to see. I would love to try it myself one day. I'm not sure I could go for as long as that, but I think I could definitely pick it up and walk with it. But it certainly looks easier than it is, I imagine. Particularly as you can see, I imagine the lactic acid in the forearms building up quite a lot there. So, but well done to Par O'Dwyer, and again, well done to Adam Bishop for taking the first and second spot on this absolutely brutal event, which got the crowd roaring. You know, it was a real atmosphere from what I saw in the footage that I watched over. So gutted I couldn't go, but there's always more events come up this year. And again, well done to the athletes. See, just coming up now, obviously the results for the Conan's wheel. So unsurprisingly, Luke and Tom Stoltman, they came 3rd and 4th. And Terry Hollands, who we're going to get onto in a minute actually, he did really well and took the 5th position with Luke Richardson after him. So yeah, well done guys. So obviously that leads me on to Terry. So Terry Hollands, you know, 16th year in the professional elite level of strongman. And, you know, I've spoke about him before in a previous video where last year he actually did his first bodybuilding show. He's had amazing weight transformation in the last 12 months. He's been going, he was a huge strongman. I'd say overweight, he had a lot of muscle mass, but also a lot of fat mass, and he knew that it wasn't healthy and good for his health. He's in his early 40s now, and he stripped it back. He put himself out of his comfort zone and put on, as he says, some little trunks and stood on a stage and posed people, and he actually did really well. And what's been even more impressive is the fact he's been able to jump back straight back into strongman scene, and he's considerably downsized. He's a lot lighter than he was before. I mean, he's still a big man, but he looks athletic, he looks strong, he looks fit, he looks healthy, and he's definitely got more mobility and flexibility, and he put in a really good performance on the day. I mentioned just there in the last event, Conan's where he took 5th. He also ended 7th overall, so he didn't do too shabby, to be honest, in all the events. He was consistent, and like over the years, Terry, he's done so well in different sports, and the guy definitely isn't at his end yet. I would say there's a lot more still to come from him, and if you're not familiar with his past in sporting accolades, he was Britain's strongest man. He's placed second 3 times. He's also placed 3rd twice in his career, and lastly, he's been 3rd in World's Strongest Man in both 2007 and 2011. So this guy knows what he's doing and is an amazing athlete, and I think he hasn't reached his peak, just like Mark Felix, who again we'll get onto later. Anyway, moving on to Luke Stoltman. So, Luke, the Scottish oak from the Highlands. Now, he's the older brother of Tom, and obviously these two, as we know, are causing quite a stir in the strongman industry and have been doing for well over a year now, and they're consistently finishing on the podium for many events, including World's Ultimate Strongman in Dubai last year, both taking 2nd and 3rd in that competition behind Matthias Kidasowski. Now, Luke came 3rd to his brother, but he put in an amazing performance throughout the entire competition with, huge achievements in every event he did. Now, this is obviously the log lift ladder. Now, only 2 athletes actually completed all 5 logs. Aaron Page was the first, who got that in 55.4 seconds. However, as we know with Luke's got tremendous shoulder strength, and as you can see from each log he's doing here, he doesn't use his legs at all. He's got such good static strength in the shoulders, like Eddie Hall, and it was no doubt in my mind, as I've said before in other videos about him, in other shoulder pressing movements, that he would probably win this one, and he did. And he completed all 5 logs in 53.5 seconds, which was, a hell of an impressive time, and really, really cool. So with obviously the logs, I haven't mentioned, obviously they start off at different weights. So the first one is 120 in kilos, that is, and it goes all the way up to 180 kilos for the last one. So this is the last log here. Obviously there's a tiny bit of leg drive, but his lockout is very good. He's got really good shoulder strength and triceps, and he does it. Looks a piece of piss, to be honest. So well done, Luke. He smashed that event. Just want to quickly talk about the other events he did well in also. So he obviously placed 1st in that event, as mentioned. He was 2nd in the Atlas Stones. He was 3rd in the loading race, which was an event we haven't spoken about just yet. And in the Conan's walk, he was also 3rd. And he's also qualified for the 2020 World's Strongest Man. So well done, mate. You're continuing to prove us all that you are a very strong man. So now about his brother. So Tom's actually the current strongest man for Scotland. So he's the champion of Scotland, and obviously he's the younger brother to Luke, as mentioned, being 25. So this is the loading race I've just mentioned, and he was taken on Luke Richardson. Luke, we're going to speak about in a moment after this short segment, obviously being a newcomer to the competition, very young at only 22. But, Tom is also very young. He's only 25. He may look older, but he's a young lad. But, he's going places. And obviously this event here, I haven't mentioned just yet. So in terms of the actual event, let's start by carrying a 200 kilo weight across the track. That's the duck walk. Then they have to sprint back, as you just saw, collect a 150 kilo keg and run back with that also throwing in the skip. Then they have to run back again, grab a 120 kilo sack, again run back here. Here you can see obviously Tom, he's well ahead of Luke. And then lastly, if that wasn't enough, they have to finish it off by running back with a 115 kilo tyre. Now obviously Tom's a huge guy and seriously strong, so that looks like it weighs nothing. But I mean, it's 115 kilos, so well done. Obviously Luke, unfortunately, he puts in a good time, but you know, being a newcomer to the sport and you know, still learning, and he's obviously not used to competing against someone for time, he did well, but obviously Tom, being a bit more experienced and seasoned now in obviously these competitions, he did really well and smashed it. So well done, guys. Nice bit of team, like no rivalry there, both supporting each other. And again, that's what I love about the sport. They don't hate each other and they support one another. So obviously we're moving on to Luke Richardson, nicknamed the Future. He's set records in the junior division of the IPF Powerlifting Championships. He also secured his place on Britain's Strongest Man this year by winning the official Strongman Games in Florida last November. And, you know, he is no stranger to strength. And at 22, I mean, he definitely does have a promising future in the sport, provided he doesn't get injured or take a different direction. I thought he did tremendously well. And, you know, he obviously did well in the axle lift, coming tying third with Luke Stoltman by getting 9 reps. And overall, he was consistent in every event. Now, he didn't place as high as he thought he would, but ultimately, he did really well. He's definitely made a name for himself, and he's someone to watch out for in the future. And they will be doing a separate video on him as more stuff about him comes out. So watch out, guys. Now, obviously, I can't talk about every athlete because there were so many athletes there, but I just want to quickly mention Mark Felix, the veteran at 53, still competing, still did really well and placed 8 overall. He also, as I mentioned, did really well on the axle lift. You know, that grip doesn't give up, and he got 10 reps, taking the second place for that. So well done, Mark, for competing, and it was really good to see you again. You know, I've seen you growing up, and I've always loved how you perform, and you're always that face in the sport. And a legend. So it was great to see you, Mark, and thanks for, you know, putting a good showing again, even with a cold, may I add. And that leads me on to Ben. Now Ben Brunning, he's Wales' strongest man, and he really has come on scene very quickly and done really well. But unfortunately, he had to pull out due to an injury, and it's a real shame because he actually did really well in the log lift, and you know, he set a really good time and actually got four lifts. So it's a real shame that he wasn't able to continue, but we wish you a speedy recovery. Well done for even, you know, still performing even though your back was hurting. So get better, get your rest, and we want to see you back on the podium, like just showing here from last year's Europe tour. So the last event, which was the famous Atlas Stones. Now, as we know, Tom is an absolute machine when it comes to this, and he's certainly put in an amazing performance, actually setting a new record with the stones. Now, he absolutely destroys it. The speed at which he does it is unlike anything anyone's ever seen before. And you know, Adam puts in a really good performance and, you know, is equally fast, but let's face it, 5 stones in 16.01 seconds it's just something crazy. Bearing in mind, again, you know, those stones get heavier the further they go up along the podium, and Tom makes them look like they weigh nothing. They're just the little polystyrene balls, in fact. So Tom, well done for winning that event, and it actually does put him in second place overall for this competition, and only losing out to Adam Bishop by half a point. So I'm sure he was a little bit gutted about that, but ultimately he still showed that he is Scotland's strongest man. He is one of the strongest men in Britain, and he deserves to be on those podiums, whether it be Britain's strongest man, Europe's strongest man, world's strongest man, world's ultimate strongman. The guy, just like his older brother Luke, are consistently demonstrating that they are top level athletes, and I'm really excited to see them perform in new events and new competitions as the year goes on. Obviously, you just saw there the scores for the top 3 guys. Adam obviously won with 56, Tom 55.5, and obviously Luke taking third at 52.5. And just to mention quickly about Luke Richardson. So again, he's a newcomer, but the guy came fourth overall. So, I mean, well done, Luke. And for your first time, that's good going. So let's see how you get on in the rest of the competitions for the Giants Live Tour. So anyway, guys, hope you liked the video. Sorry I couldn't cover everything, but I tried to as much as I could in the time span. But anyway, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Who do you think's gonna do big things this year? Any of the newcomers or any of the current favourites like the Stoltman brothers? And yeah, just let me know what you think. Hope you liked the video. If you did, please leave a thumbs up. Also remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and please do share. But anyway, guys, take care, and I'll see you soon. Amiga One Fitness, signing out.